Okay, deadline one has passed. This one is a surprising one. It really is. I'm going to wait a few minutes for some folks to get in here. You put your comments along the way when you have them. But I want to go over the qualifying offer decisions here. Some of them are surprises. And one of them is a shocker. So give it a few minutes here. If you haven't heard about the qualifying offers, we're here to talk about that later on. We'll go over to see who the Yankees are going to put on the 40-man roster to protect from the Rule 5 draft. I'll try to go live later. At the very least, I'll put out a short on it, a video. So I wanted to give you some insight as to who accepted and who rejected the qualifying offers. Okay. It's going to give it a minute or two. Let some folks get in here. Let me know whoever you are in the comments so I can say hi. This is the first of multiple decisions that have to happen this week. So, today again, Rule 5. Not necessarily, Jake. And just hear me out for a second. I'm just going to wait a few more minutes here. Hear me out. Real Bill, what's going on, my friend? So, we'll get right into it. So, here are the players that rejected the qualifying offer. Kyle Tucker, Kyle Schwarber, Bo Bichette, Framber Valdez, Dylan Cease, Ranger Suarez, Edwin Diaz, Zach Gallen, and Michael King. Here are the 4 players who accepted it. Shota Imanaga, Brandon Woodruff, Gleyber Torres, and Trent Grisham. So they're all going back to their teams on a $22 million qualifying offer. Now, there's a couple things here that I want to point out. Okay? Now, this feels kind of like a dick punch for the Yankees, right? Because to me, center field, I was hoping that Spencer Jones was going to take over center field, right? We'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens. I don't want to deny him the opportunity, but maybe it's a better option. Maybe they ease him in as a 4th outfielder because he can play other positions as well. Maybe that's an option. Maybe he could be the 4th outfielder. But I said this earlier too. He does not interfere with the Yankees' ability to sign 1 or 2 Japanese players, just like Cody Bellinger would not interfere with the Yankees' ability to sign 1 or 2 Japanese players. What would interfere with is their ability to sign Kyle Tucker. Now I understand that people want, a lot of fans want the more high-end bat to pair with Aaron Judge. I get it. Okay, but what if? Just put this, just to hear me out here. Okay, and there's 2 things actually. Can you trade a player that accepts a qualifying offer? Well, yes, you can, but there's 2 caveats. Number 1, the player has to give his consent. Number 2, it can't happen until June 15th. Okay, those are the 2 most important caveats to trading a player that's accepted a QO. So the Yankees are tied now for $22 million. Now, this is probably going to affect their offseason plan. But a couple things here. Okay, I don't know if you heard earlier, but the Rangers are looking to trade Adolis Garcia and Jonah Heim before Friday's non-tender deadline. Why am I bringing this up? Well, what about a scenario like this? What if the Yankees signed Cody Bellinger to put him at first base, and then Ben Rice goes behind the dish, and then the Yankees maybe trade for Jonah Heim from the Texas Rangers to be Ben Rice's backup, and then they trade Austin Wells in a separate package for a different player. Now you've got Cody Bellinger first. You've got Ben Rice behind a dish, and you still have another outfield spot that needs to be filled because you're going to have Trent Grisham there. Okay? And it doesn't affect their ability to address the bullpen either. Kyle Tucker would make it much harder. Yes, he's a more higher pedigree player, but he would make it much harder to address multiple positions. Okay? So if they bring Bellinger back, my question is, do they bring him back for first base or they bring him back for the outfield? Right? So I was hoping that Trent was going to reject it too. But keep this in mind. And there were 2 teams that expressed interest in signing Trent Grisham to a 3 to 5 year deal. the Royals and the Tigers had he rejected it. But that means they would have had to forfeit $1 million in international money and as well as 2 draft picks. Okay, the Yankees would have received the comp pick. Now they could still do that, but it has to happen after June 15th. But they would not have to forfeit 2 draft picks or international money either. They could just get Trent Grisham and give whatever you give back, a prospect or whatever. Okay, yeah, June 15th. He has to agree. He has to give his consent or June 15th. Now, if he gives his consent ahead of time, okay, then, and I'm not sure if this I'm going to read it right out to you. An MLB player cannot be traded after accepting a qualifying offer unless they provide consent. Okay. Now, if by accepting the offer, the player signs a 1-year deal with their current team, it cannot be traded without their explicit permission until after June 15th of the season. That sounds like consent and after June 15th. It's not consent or June 15th. Okay? According to this. So, Trent Grisham's back with the Yankees for 2026. And again, I don't really care if Kyle Tucker doesn't come to the Yankees. Personally, I don't care. Okay? Let him go to the Mets. Let him go to the Dodgers. Go. Okay? But could you imagine if they signed Bellinger, put him at first base, and then they still kind of signed Tucker to outfield? I mean, that would be insane, but that would also probably mean no Japanese players, no Tatsuya Mai, no starting pitcher. Or do they now package Spencer Jones in a trade for a pitcher? Or a starting pitcher, right? So I don't know if he believes in the ability to sign long term. There's going to be very likely a lockout last year. This is an opportunity to secure $22 million before a lockout. Okay, because had he gotten hurt this year, right, and didn't cash in, then it would have hurt his ability to get a big contract next year. So, Jonathan, what's happening, man? So, it sounds like Grisham will stay now, unless something happens otherwise. Okay, and we'll see what happens. But again, what's the Yankees' plan going to be now for left field? Well, exactly, too. I mean, if he shows that he is not a drop-off in production from last year, then I'm cool with that. I wasn't expecting better stats in center field from anybody than what Grisham put forth this year, right? So they have plenty of money to work with. Who told you they don't have money to work with, Celia? Who's feeding you that? Please tell me what channels are saying that. Please. Okay. But again, this just changes the calculus for the Yankees. It changes their plan of attack, right? There's other approaches they can do. The Yankees will still make a lot of changes. They have to. They have to, right? But again, what were the options we talked about? Like Kyle Tucker was one, but then again, what would you be able to sign after Kyle Tucker? So you'd probably give him $40 million a year, right? What if they don't bring back Cody Bellinger? What if they trade for an outfielder, Adolis Garcia, or something like that for left field? Okay. Or leadoff. What if they trade for Brendan Donovan now? Or Stephen Kwan? It sounds like less likely Stephen Kwan, but Brendan Donovan could be a legitimate leadoff hitter. Okay, he's a guy that could be left field, and it could also make it easy for them to ease in Spencer Jones. But that's all lefty bats too. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if Adolis Garcia is an option here. Whereas an outfield I talked about last week from the Colorado Rockies, it could be an option too. Right? So this kind of changes their. You heard from who, Celia, that they don't want to go about luxury? And what luxury tax? Because that Brian Cashman didn't say that, and Hal didn't say that. So who are you hearing it from? Right? Who told you Hal wants to be on a 300? Hal hasn't said it. I haven't heard it from him. Haven't heard from Cashman. This doesn't change the narrative. What is the narrative? Let's stop with narratives. Let's stick with the facts, the reality in front of us, right? We don't know. Hopefully, Grisham doesn't have a massive drop-off in production. So it was a calculation. Again, he probably bet on there being a lockout next year, because we're likely going to have one. We don't know what kind, but that's the key. So how does this change the Yankees' game plan is the question. The Yankees can be creative, or they can go with a different bat in left field instead of Bellinger, right? Or they could play Bellinger at first base and still try to trade for Brendan Donovan, something like that. They could do that too. Carlos, what's going on? And shout out to the chat, by the way. And again, this feels like a dick punch. I get it, but it's not the end of the world. Grisham was good for the Yankees. He was real good for the Yankees. He's the most clutch hitter that we had last year in the season. Okay, and now last year was his first opportunity in his career to be a starting player. Remember that. He was never starting before last year. And look what he did in his first opportunity as a starter. So if we got a good amount of that production again, okay. Jones can start right out the gate, David. Jones, he can win the job out of spring training. So, well, yeah, I mean, this is 4 times what he made $5 million in 2025. Now he's making 22, right? So it's a big. But again, yeah, the question is, what can he repeat? What can he repeat is the question, right? But yeah, he cashed in. This is 4 times. This is basically 4 years of salary for him. So I would choose Jones over Dominguez all day. I would trade Dominguez for a pitcher. They are shopping him for a controllable arm, yes. Yeah. No, I think he's that's increased the possibility of him being traded, because he's not going to start in left field, right? Grish took the QO, Marcus. Yes, he did. Gleyber Torres took it. Brandon Woodruff took it, and Shota Imanaga took it. 4 players took it. 9 players rejected it. Why do I think the 2 teams have came out and said that were looking to sign him for a 3 to 5 year deal, the Tigers and the Royals, if he got the free agency. So it's not what I think, it's what team said. So it's not going to stop Cashman from spending. This doesn't change anything. Okay. I'm hearing less likely that Kwan's available, but you never know. I mean, I would call about Kwan. Could be a little fan. He's got 2 years of control left, and I would drive Dominguez there myself. I like Dominguez, but anywhere we can upgrade now. But again, that gives a lot of lefty bats too. Which is why don't you see Grisham having a good year, Ciliano? Why? What makes you say that? Why do I think except because of a potential lockout next year? It's very likely there's going to be a lockout. And during a lockout, they don't get paid. He bet on himself, Grisham. And you don't know what the 3 to 5 years they were going to offer were. But, I always question why you would leave so much money on the table. But the timing of it is peculiar now because of a stinking lockout that's likely going to happen next year, which kind of throws a monkey wrench into everything. We'll know in 2 more hours what the 40 men. We'll know. 6 o'clock is the deadline to put players on the 40 man. And again, now I mean, Yankees will figure out what's going to happen here now. But I do think this increases the odds of either Jones or Dominguez being traded. I do. So we'll see. I'm taking a look right now to see if we got any news on the Yankees front here. It's likely going to be Bellinger because Bellinger also makes it easier for them to add Japanese players. Tucker does not. Tucker makes it harder. Makes it almost impossible. So let's see here. Let's see. They added Ryan Yarbrough yesterday. Nothing yet in terms of Rule 5. I have a feeling we'll probably get a trickle of that right around the deadline, just like we got trickle of it right before the qualifying offer deadline. So, yeah, 9 players declined the offer, and I went over all the 9 players. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yeah, well, that's guaranteed. He's gonna make more than that, Aaron Diaz. So, and Bellinger and Schwarber and all the rest of them. So we'll see, bro. Bill, you might be. I mean, I have a feeling the Yankees are not going to decide on Bellinger until the posting window, 45-day window, closes on the Japanese players, which opens officially tomorrow. Imai and Okamoto, they're going to get posted officially tomorrow. And then their 45 days, they have until 5 p.m. January 2nd to decide. So, but if you can get Bellinger and you get Okamoto and Imai, that's a monster offseason. Monster offseason. And you can ease in Spencer Jones if you want to do that. The Cardinals are looking for pitching. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a gut punch. It's a gut punch for Spencer Jones. Freeman didn't want to come to the Yankees, and Freeman didn't want to go back to the Braves. He signed with the Dodgers. There's no point in looking at the past that happened already. Because the Yankees have been in the playoffs over the last 30 years, like 27 of the last 30 years have been in the playoffs since he's been GM. The last 26 years, excuse me. 23 of the 26 years. I don't know if that's 280. Not 280 yet. They haven't gotten their arbitration cases solved yet. They haven't been non-tendered players, but this also could make it more likely they could non-tender somebody like Clark Schmidt, right? Dominguez wouldn't be enough for Donovan, and the Cardinals are looking for pitching. So, Adolis Garcia, yeah, it's good. I mean, look. The Yankees are looking. I mean, not the Yankees, but the Rangers are looking to trade Garcia and Jonah Heim before Friday. Well, Murakami, yeah, well, he's quiet. It's quiet on the Murakami front, which is why I hope people aren't expecting to hear a lot of noise on Imai and Okamoto. It's just this stuff gets done quietly, behind the scenes, and Japanese people don't leak over there. So. Hill and Dominguez for Donovan. That might get it done. Or Warren and Dominguez for Donovan. And remember, this is just a 1-year commitment for Trent Grisham. They could flip him at the deadline. They don't have to wait. They don't need his consent to flip him at the deadline. So, just as an FYI. But yeah, everybody hit the like button. We've got 80 people in here. We only got 17 likes, if you don't mind. I don't know. It's a good question, Marcus. I don't know. I hope they don't move Spencer Jones. But there's chatter earlier from Jeff Passan that the Yankees, he's linking the Yankees to the Tigers right now with Tarik Skubal. So I don't know. And if that's the case, then either Jones or Dominguez will have to go to Detroit. But again, I don't know if you want to trade that type of piece for 1 year of a pitcher who might not be back next year and then lose potentially a starting outfielder next year. I don't know. Oh, if you got Kwan and Bellinger. I mean, you got Kwan, Bellinger, and Donovan. Oh, my God. Yeah, but that's a lot of lefty bats, too. Yankees need a righty bat. Diaz won't happen because he's attached to a qualifying offer. So, and he turned it down. No, it's not downhill, Charlotte. It's not downhill. We don't need to wave the white flag yet. So many fans wave the white flag so soon. I don't understand why. It was a tie. And again, it's not even the Yankees' call. It was Grisham's call. That's the benefit of a qualifying offer for a player. And it's a hit or miss for teams. Like, I don't think the Cubs expected to bring back Imanaga. Imanaga turned down $57 million to take 22. Something had to happen. He must be very worried that they're going to have a lockout next year. Right? Woodruff I can see, but Woodruff also makes it more possible, more likely, and I heard this from some reporters earlier, that makes it more likely they trade Freddie Peralta. Yeah, I would keep Jones. He's elite in the outfield. I would keep Jones. Dominguez to me is movable. But we'll see how the Yankees kind of react to this. But I totally understand why fans are disappointed. I am kind of disappointed too. Even though I like Trent Grisham, I like what he did last year, I was hoping that this was going to be Spencer Jones' opportunity to take over center field. So I don't know if we have the same outfield. I don't know. Yeah, and last year, Marcus, was Grisham's first year as a starting player. And look what he did. Cole Reagans, why is he available? I'm curious to see what the Yankees do now. Because this is $22 million. That's, it could affect how they go after bullpen and pitching now. So then now I think this might increase the possibility that they don't bring back Bellinger. Right? And maybe they'll get a player for the outfield with controllable years. Right? No, they're not done making moves. No. The offseason hasn't barely started. Yeah, he and Aaron Judge carried us into the playoffs. I think it's less likely that they get Tucker now. No, it doesn't kill the Yankees offseason. Changes it, doesn't kill it. Where do you get 284 from? They're not done, Baba. They're not done. Where are you hearing that Hal wanted to load a payroll? You haven't heard it from Hal. We haven't heard from Cashman. What channel is peddling this narrative? Please tell me. People have said that last year and the year before they didn't lower the payroll. What channel is pushing this narrative? I didn't think the Yankees going to get Tucker anyway. So Now I think it's almost a zero possibility that they get Tucker now that Grisham's back. Tucker, Jones, and Judge would have been a pretty epic outfield. But Bellinger, Judge, and Jones would have been a pretty epic outfield too. But I understand Tucker's the more premier name, and he looks like he lines up better with Judge than Bellinger does. But Bellinger was pretty darn good for the Yankees this past year. Everybody disappeared in the playoffs, Chocolate. Everybody except for Judge. The whole entire team. Not only Trent. Yeah, I mean, unless you get some leeway to say, you know what, F this. Turn this team into a monster. Get what you're gonna get. Get whatever. Like, unless he gives them full carte blanche, like to out Dodger the Dodgers, then now it's time to get creative. And the Yankees are not going. They don't need Alonso. Where's Alonso going to play? I could see it now. All the channels tomorrow, all the fans are going to be trashing Cashman, trashing the Yankees. I can see it now. Cashman's ready for either situation. You're right, Pat. Whether they get him or don't get him, he's prepared for that. Can you pick that up, please? Throw in the trash, buddy. Thank you. I think Jones stays. I think Jason Dominguez gets moved as well. Joel Sherman does not work for the Yankees. He's a beat writer. He doesn't work for the Yankees. He does not work for them. And he said that last year they didn't lower it. He said the year before they didn't lower it. So why are we all of a sudden believing Joel Sherman? Yeah, let Boston get Alonso. Good for them. Yeah, well, we need Imai. If we can get Tatsuya Imai, that would be a big get. Big get. Now I think the Yankees are really going to be honed in on him now. Again, he doesn't work for the Yankees. Yeah, New York Post. You didn't hear Hal say it. You didn't hear Cashman say it. And New York Post is not the place I go for facts. Neither is Twitter or Discord. All right. Yeah, well, this was Trent Grisham's call, not the Yankees. Imai and Okamoto, in all honesty. Maybe Okamoto can play left field instead of Bellinger. Just a thought. And then you can still ease in Spencer Jones. Right? But Imai and Okamoto, would you be happy if they got both of them? I know I would. We'll see, John S. We'll see. Exactly, Marcus. Jones can win the job out of spring training, I think. I doubt it. I doubt the Phillies will bite on that. That's why they need more contact bats. Guys like Okamoto, guys like Brendan Donovan. These are why I bring these up on a regular basis. They're contact hitting bats, right? One starting pitcher, Luis Hernandez. One starting pitcher. They don't need two. One starting pitcher and a couple of relievers. Two bats, yeah. I mean, two contact bats. But one starting pitcher. No, they're not going to. Just like they didn't sit Grisham to start Dominguez. They can't trade Grisham until June 15th, RC. June 15th. Anybody that accepts a QO cannot be traded until June 15th. So, yeah, I hope Okamoto and Imai are really They get posted officially tomorrow. Their posting window opens tomorrow at 8 a.m. and their posting window closes January 2nd at 5 p.m. So they have until then to agree to terms with the major league team. So yeah, you answered my question. I answered yours. Sherman does not work for the Yankees. If you don't hear from Hal and we don't hear from Cashman, then that's not something I'll be talking about. Cookies. So unless we hear from Hal or Cashman, I don't believe it. Yeah, we'll see what bat they put. I mean, we'll see what type of spending parameters they have now. So I don't know. If they brought Bellinger back, and again, you know, if they brought Bellinger back, he'll be here for like 6-7 years, my guess. Right? Maybe 5 or 6. Grisham's only for 1 year. So, and I don't even buy Rosenthal or Curry as gospel either, but I believe them more than Sherman. Unless Hal says it or Cashman says it, I don't hold anybody's name as gospel. None of them. None of them. They're shopping Dominguez. That I know, RC. I've said it for the last month. They're shopping Dominguez. Right? Hill, Dominguez, and Warren for Scoop. Oh, well, is that the Bobby Malone trade proposal from the earlier on X? That's probably what it would cost. He's not privy to an attorney. Cashman doesn't go out of his way to feed information to Sherman. Neither does Hal. That I know for a fact. Okay. Why do you see Devin Williams going to the Mets? Because somebody put out it earlier that the Mets are looking to sign him and form a Super Bowl pen with him as a setup and Diaz as closer. Well, I think that they know what asking. Well, this is the other thing too. Bellinger or Kyle Tucker, none of them profile as a above average center fielder. Grisham does. They profile as an above average corner outfielder. So and that's part of the calculus as to why they offered him McHugh too. We'll see. But they need contact bats. They need contact bats. Well, he is being shopped. I know from somebody inside the Yankees. He's actively quietly being shopped. You don't have to believe me. I don't care. But they're quietly shopping him. But yeah, Boone's job is to play the lineup that he's given. Has nothing to do with Hicks and Donaldson. Nothing. Everybody was horrible in the playoffs except for Aaron Judge. Everybody. And Volpe, surprisingly, was decent in the playoffs. Hal never says that. You'll never hear that from an owner, Eric. Grish is a pretty good glove. Who? From Seattle for Jazz? Who's Gill from Seattle? Who's that, Bryce? They're quietly shopping Dominguez. Beck. Yeah, we got 100+ people in here. Everybody smack that like button if you don't mind. Let's try to get 100 likes as quickly as we can. Greatly appreciate it. We don't know if the Yankees are getting. You keep asking me. I've already answered it. We don't know yet. But that's the word today. Jeff Passan is linking them to getting Skubal. But it's not going to be cheap. But like I said earlier, I would not try to trade for Skubal unless I had an extension offer ready that was going to be really hard to say no to. But keep in mind, if there's a lockout next year, that's a lost year. So I don't know what's going to happen. They don't need Bo. Bobby God. They don't need Bo. How do you cut your losses? You can't move on. The problem, and it's not that the team is bad. No team, like the Mets earlier, right? They offered Frankie Montas an option, and he exercised a couple weeks ago, and today they released him. They're eating $17 million, and Scott Boras basically hoodwinked them out of $34 million in 2 years, and he really didn't pitch for them. So the problem with it is the contracts in baseball. They're guaranteed. So if a player can get hurt, miss the whole entire year, you still have to pay them. There's no clause that allows a team to do that. And this is not only the Yankees, Sean. It's a bunch of teams. Castillo from I wouldn't trade Jazz for Castillo. Castillo's got a bunch of years. I'm not asking you to go on my word. All I know is what somebody from the inside is telling me. You can believe Sherman all you want. I don't really care. And I didn't say. I said, I don't believe. Unless I hear from Hal or Cashman in terms of spending, I don't believe anybody. You don't have to go by my word. That's just my take and what I believe. Unless you hear from Hal or Cashman, they're the ones that control it. So, all right, we had a good outfield last year. We had a very good outfield. First big trade's probably not going to happen until next week because there's still deadlines that have to be made. Rule 5 deadlines, non-tender deadlines. So we might have players that are being looked at in free agency that teams might prefer to do trades when they find out other players are available who get non-tendered, right? So now I'm looking to see if we have any non-tender news for the Yankees. No, nothing yet. Have you heard it from Hal Chocolate that he wants to lower payroll? I haven't. Exactly, Will Bill. It doesn't come from Cashman or Hal. They could. That's one thing I said. I said if the Yankees want to be creative, they could consider Bellinger at first base. They could, and then move Rice behind the dish and trade. They could do that, right? But I don't know if they want to do that, right? Apparently, Joel Sherman's saying that, even though he doesn't work for the Yankees, Real Bill, and some other YouTubers are saying, and you're saying it all over Twitter. Never mind. Let's not listen to the owner or the GM, the people that handle the payroll. Let's listen to people on Twitter. Yes, I do, Manuel. I see them trading Dominguez for pitching. Yeah. The non-tender deadline is Friday at 8. Yeah, today's the Rule 5 deadline at 6. So, Chris the Flash, what's good, brother? He's at the owners' meetings right now, Bubba. The owners' meetings are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Yeah, I mean, you could trade Dominguez to Miami, but what would you want to return is the question. Well, Rice hasn't had the opportunity to prove himself as a catcher yet. He's been more first base than Wells been, and Wells isn't that bad catcher. So, yeah, we have another hour. See, 44 likes. We got 100 people in here. Anybody? Why would you rather trade Jones over Dominguez, Jeffrey? Just out of curiosity. No, we're waiting on 40-man roster decisions at 6 o'clock. We got the qualifying offer decisions, but we now waiting for the Rule 5 decisions. So my guess is Spencer Jones goes on the 49. I think that's one of the shoe-ins. So is Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, I think, is that there's a shoe-in. But again, I don't work for the Yankees. They don't pay me. Yeah, I mean, it's just pinstripe. Yeah, exactly. More promise where? And where have you seen that? Age where, I mean, at no point has his stats been better at any minor league level than Jones's. So where are you seeing? I'm just curious. His K rate doesn't matter if he's putting up the numbers that he's putting in and putting forth. Have you looked at his contact rate? At no point has Dominguez put up elite stats at any point in time at any level in the majors. So this is where I'm wondering why. I want to learn from you, so please tell me more. Brian Hook, yeah, Yankees plan to continue from your Bellinger, yep. And again, we'll see who gets tendered this week, non-tendered. And we'll have more options available to us, right? But I'm not surprised because they wanted to bring back Bellinger anyway, and this is a 1-year commitment to Grisham in center field. So it still allows him to make Spencer Jones a fourth outfield if you want, but I don't know. That's a lot of lefty bats. That's why I think a guy like Okamoto represents a good fit because he's a righty bat. He's a contact hitter. Plus, he plays infield and outfield, so he can give the roster a lot of protection. I don't think Tucker's in play now, man. I'd be surprised. Adequate playing time. He got more playing time than Trent Grisham did this year, and more playing time than Stanton did this year. Tatsuya Mai is a Japanese starter. Again, at the major league level, you have to outperform the players in order to beat them out for the position. But I understand the talking point this year has been not adequate playing time, but look at his at-bats. He's got more than Grisham, more than Stanton. They both outperformed him by a mile. So, Trent Grisham accepted his QO, John Jr. He's coming back to the Yankees. 4 players accepted the QO. I thought it was going to be 2. There's 4. Shota Minaga back to the Cubs, Gleyber Torres back to the Tigers, and Brandon Woodruff back to the Brewers. They can't trade him before June 15th, yeah, unfortunately. June 15th is the earliest they could trade him. You're comparing him to Jones. So what's the difference between Trent to Grisham? This was Grisham's first year as a starter. First year in his career as a starter. You're going to compare. You got to level an even playing field. Dominguez gets no get out of jail free cards at any point in time. If Grisham doesn't get him, Jones doesn't get him, neither does Dominguez. I don't care what any content creator says. those channels have been putting him like the greatest thing since sliced bread. He has not shown superstar at any point in time. And that moniker was unfairly given to him. Jones' K rate it has already been improving, yes. Just like Judge has improved. And again, if you hit the ball like Jones, and with his K rate, he still has an OPS of almost 1,000. And he was 35 home runs and 29 steals this year. He has a lot of doubles and a lot of singles. He puts the ball in play a lot. Right? News on Volpe recovery? No. No news on Volpe recovery. $34 home runs and 74 RBIs in Trent Grisham. Giancarlo Stanton. 24 home runs and 66 ribbies in 249 at-bats. Jason Dominguez. 381 at-bats. 10 home runs, 257 batting average. It's outperformed by a mile by Grisham and Stanton. And the problem with Dominguez, look, if he stays, I have no problem with him staying. Okay? Appreciate you, bro, Bill. Thank you for your service, too, by the way, man. I don't know if I ever said that, but thank you. Frankie Montez got released by the Mets. Yep. They basically ate $34 million. Yo, Ken, what do you know? Oh, fans are up in arms. Grisham accepted his QO, so. And I will change the plan for the Yankees. What type of plan? How? I don't know. But 381 at-bats is adequate playing time. If you compare the at-bats that he had the years before, yeah, he's gotten his opportunity. A lot of us wish that. I was hoping that he would have directed to, and Spencer Jones would be getting his opportunity in center field. Yeah, AJ, what's going on, AJ? But now that's likely going to change. They can't trade him until June 15th. That's the policy in baseball. That's the rule. Yes. And again, so anybody that accepts a qualifying offer can't be traded until June 15th of the following year. So, Consigliere, there he is. What's going on? But now, the question is, what do the Yankees do for the rest of the plan here? Again, keep this in mind. I said this earlier, too. He does not interfere with their ability to sign Japanese players at all, Trent Grisham. Neither does Cody Bellinger. Kyle Tucker would because of the cost. Right? And that's just the way that it is. They could still get MI, and they're zoned in on him. They're zoned in on Okamoto too. Yes, indeed. Let him go to the Dodgers. I could care less. Yep. Mm-hmm. MI and Okamoto. That's what I'm saying. That's. I mean, that's gonna be a hard pivot for Cashman. Not the easiest thing in the world to do, but doable. Their posting window opens tomorrow officially, and it ends July 2nd at 5 p.m. Again, this was Grisham's first year as a starter, and look what he did. No. Oh, the Red Sox? Maybe. I could see them as bringing back either Diaz or Alonso, but I'm not sure they're going to bring back both. There are a couple other teams I could see Alonso going to as well. January 2nd, yes. Excuse me, January 2nd. January 2nd, 2026 is when the 45-day posting window closes. He's a part-time player with the Padres. Yeah, I don't think Alonso wants to be a Met anymore either. Yeah. He platooned with the Padres for the most part. But he got a pretty good amount of at-bats with the Padres, too. $49 likes. But he brought great value to the Yankees this year. So this is what happens, right? Who told you Alonso wanted to be a Yankee? I never heard that one. I know he said he was open to it, but I'm not surprised. That keeps your market open, keeps your market fluid. That's a standard comment from a player. So to not rule out teams who could potentially bid for him, right? Yeah, if we have another good year from Grisham and he plays well in the postseason, I'd be happy to. And then next year, they'd be free of him if they wanted to be free of him. Nah, I figured you were joking, AJ. You got jokes, man. Shahid, what's up, man? What's good, baby? Long time, man. How you been? What is happening, man? So that's what we have right now, gang. That's the latest right now. We'll have more news later on in about an hour, which gives me time to go bathe my kids before my wife gets home from work. So that's where I'm going to take one quick look to see if we got any intel. I have a feeling it's not going to happen until right around the deadline. Let's see. Yeah, Angels select, so they got when there's news that they select a player, that means they put them on the 40 man. No, nothing yet on the Yankees. Nothing yet, gang. Nothing yet. Always a pleasure, Marcus. Bellinger at first, Okamoto at third. Well, we have Donovan. We have Jazz at second. Valentino, we have McMahon at third. But Donovan and Okamoto have positional versatility. They can play a lot of different positions, which is good. So, Jeffrey, he doesn't interfere with their ability to sign Japanese players. Grisham. And he was good for the Yankees this year. And it's on a 1-year commitment. McMahon can't hit. He got 20 home runs this year. Okay. He stabilized the defense, and that's why they brought him here. We don't need everybody to hit 30, 40 home runs. Isn't the biggest complaint that there was a home run or nothing team? And then we were asking for players to get more home runs? He stabilized the infield defense. And he was one of the few Yankees that actually hit in the postseason. More contact hitting. Huh? That's why I think Brendan Donovan's a good fit and Okamoto's a good fit. They're both contact hitters. Well, people are asking for that. Earlier in the stream today, are asking for him to hit 30 home runs and plus on somebody's channel earlier today. Yep, Imanaga and Woodruff. They're going back to the team. So is Gleyber Torres. 4 players accepted the QO, 9 rejected it. I'm surprised at Imanaga. I mean, he walked away from $57 million to come back for 22. Yep. Sports talk. Yeah, Boston did they DFA Nathaniel Lowe. Yes, they did. Who could be an option at first base too? Lefty bat at first base. That's not bad. It's not the preferred situation, Bryce, but it's not bad. Yeah, I had actually predicted Torres and Woodruff, but no one else. So I got I was half right, half wrong on my predictions for qualifying offers. They'll go over the threshold. I mean, they're over the 2 thresholds right now as we speak. So not necessarily. The home runs aren't the only value, Pixel Man. He stabilized the defense. That was the biggest problem that the Yankees had at third base. And he made the whole entire infield better. That's more valuable. And we have enough guys hit 40 home runs or 30, 40 home runs. We got enough of that. I don't know. I can't predict the payroll, Bryce. I mean, as long as they get the right guys here, I don't know. But again, if it's that high, it'll only be that high for a year. Because after this year, next year you have DJ's money coming off the books. You have Jazz money coming off the books. You had a bunch more money coming off the books. Right, Paranormal? Nobody hitting the playoffs except for Judge, Jeffrey. They're not going to trade Rice. They're not going to trade Rice. Why would they? We got a bona fide young building block with 5 controllable years here. Why would they trade that? Yeah, they're still on Bellinger. Yeah, and Jones or Dominguez will be traded. I know they're shopping Dominguez. I'd be shocked if they traded both. No. I don't know about that, Edmund, but okay. No, they're not going to trade. Why would they trade Jazz? He's 30-30. Why would they trade him? What channels are pushing for him to trade Jazz? Oh, so trade for Kyle Tucker, who also doesn't hit in the playoffs? He didn't do much in the playoffs either. Yeah, it's no surprise Naylor went back. They wanted to bring it back. The Rule 5 ads come out at 6 o'clock, so I'm going to wrap this up now. I'm going to go shower my kids, and then be back on later tonight to go over the Rule 5 numbers too. So stay tuned, gang. All right, hit the like button on the way out if you haven't done that yet. I greatly appreciate it. And again, I understand there's a lot of people that are not happy. I get it. I'm not the most happy either. So, but it is what it is, right? We triage this now. We figure out how to improvise. We figure out how to move on. Doesn't matter. Tucker doesn't hit the playoffs. Tucker's younger. Good for him. Doesn't hit the playoffs. So, you know what I mean, Blue? We'll see, Pixel. We don't know that. They didn't try to trade Grisham, I don't think. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how close we are to our picks for Rule 5. But again, this is, just a little detour. This does not spoil the Yankees offseason. It's easy to throw out the white flag. But it's harder to ride or die with the team, and I ride or die with them no matter what. I'm not a fair weather fan. I never will be. So, but stay tuned, gang. We'll be back later on. And yep, Grisham accept. Yes, he did. Gleyber Torres. Hampton, I think, is going on the 40 man. I think Hampton, Jones, Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, Brendan Beck, and maybe one other one. So, but again, you could not be put on the 40 man, but still be traded before the Rule 5 draft. So they would have to be traded him. They would have to have traded him before the December 10th or the 11th, which is Rule 5 draft. I want them to get over the hump too, Jeffrey. Believe me. But I'll say this, the Chinese pieces are not always the best fits. I'll leave you with that. So come back later on. Let's hopefully the next round's going to be better than this round. So just keep your chins up, gang. Keep your chins up. It's not over yet. It's just getting started. Let's go. Peace and love to all of you. Catch y'all later.